Hello, welcome to episode 4 of SehoPod. This is a continuation of our previous episode because I'm here with my friend Eddie Sullivan, who was there last time on episode 3, and we wanted to continue that conversation and also just expand and for Eddie to have an episode of his own. Welcome, Eddie.
Appreciate it, Sale. Happy to be here.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Very productive day. Got a lot done. It's been a good Sunday.
Yeah, man. Working? Lifeguarding?
Yeah, working out, a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, you worked out this morning?
Yes, I did.
With Dad?
I did.
Nice.
Yep, down in Fort Lee. Came right back up, went to work. It's been a good day. Yeah.
Do you ever work out in the basement?
I do sometimes, really only if I miss a workout at my dad's class. A lot of times I'm usually around, but if I can't for some reason, then I'll go in the basement, kind of as like a last resort.
Yeah.
I do love having the basement gym, but I think it's nice to be in a different spot. Sometimes like you get a little bit too comfortable at home, so yeah. I like going out doing other things. So
nice.
Yeah.
And you're starting your internship tomorrow?
I am.
And what's that internship about?
So basically I'm working for this insurance company, and with these two executives in the company, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of different stuff. To be honest, I'm not even exactly sure. It's going to be my first day. I'll find out tomorrow. Maybe I can update a later episode. But yeah, I'm just going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff in the business operations.
That's huge. Really
just to learn, get experience, and kind of figure out what I want to do in the business world.
Yeah. Nice. To introduce Eddie a little bit more, I moved to this town, Norwood, New Jersey, in the 6th grade, and then I knew you and I was friends with you in 6th grade, but not so much until it was Eric Cha who inducted me into the squad in the 7th grade by inviting me to Ken McDonald's Halloween party that year, and then since then we've been friends. So yeah, I wanted to continue that conversation about friendship we were having.
Yeah.
You know, we had talked some things about like what friendship means to us, as well as how our friendships now impact our future, whether we stick together or we go separate ways in the world. I guess we could start off with just talking about like your friends right now, like the people in your life. Like who are you friends with? Who do you love? And like what do they mean to you?
I mean, I love a bunch of different people. I think it was really interesting coming into college this year because obviously you have all these friends and all these different people that you see on a daily basis in high school. And when you're seeing everybody on a daily basis, it's like cool, like you're friends with everybody. But I think you notice, you kind of would get it over summer break, but you kind of notice once you get to school, like, who am I really friends with? And I think that was something important that I kind of learned when I went to school. Like, all of a sudden, you go from talking to, like, 50 different people every day that you're friendly with at high school, that you know a lot about. But then all of a sudden, you're at college, and from those people back home, it's maybe, like, 10, 12, whatever people. And you realize that's where you kind of, I thought, for me, realized who my real closer friends with, like, the people that I continued to stay in touch with on a regular basis. I don't really want to name drop specific people. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you're watching and you know who you are, obviously, but I don't really feel like name dropping. But I would say that was a big thing for me, kind of realizing, like, who am I continuing to talk to? Like, I thought that was always really cool for me in class, like, whether I was in class, like a boring class day, or just when I was hanging out in my dorm, like, who I could just randomly have, like, an hour conversation with, texting back and forth, seeing how things were going. And I think that was really cool of just kind of having a little bit of taste, like remembering parts of home while obviously getting a whole new experience with college.
Yeah. How like picky were you going into college? How picky were you with people like in your life? Because for me, I was so, and I still am, like always have been keen on like meeting as many people as possible. And that gives me opportunity to see like, oh, this person's a right fit in my life and in my circle, and I want to like really get to know them better. So I guess it's not like, rejecting people out of my life per se, but like I am pretty selective with, okay, like I met someone and I really like their vibe and like who they are, and I want to get closer with them. Like, what's your process?
Yeah, I mean, I would say after like the first month of college, I'd say for the most part, I had like a core friend group where it was like, I had like these 4 or 5 kids where I was like, like no matter what else happens, like in college, like I got these kids.
Yeah.
And
how'd
like,
that form, the group?
So it kind of formed, obviously, so Cello obviously went to high school together, and he came to OSU too. So I always kind of had Cello around, and then it really started with my roommate, my freshman year roommate. We were just kind of hanging out, obviously, because we were just meeting new, like, we had only really texted on Instagram, but we started to get to know each other, and then it was really just from going out to, like, the rec center playing basketball, where we met these two other kids that were roommates from Ohio, and we just kind of really hit it off with them. We started hanging out a lot, started to do things together, go out, and all that. And then, obviously, me being good friends with Marcello from high school, he hung out with us. And then we kind of just formed, like, this group of 5. Obviously, I would say, like, see, that was really my main. Like, there was other people that I hung out with all the time. Like, I'd see people out.
Hello.
How are you? I saw people out and about a lot, especially at a school like that. Like, there's a bunch of people from New Jersey. Like, there was a lot of familiar faces to begin with, of people that, like, maybe I never really talked to, but, like, we had a mutual, like, oh, like, I know who you are. And there was a lot of people that I got to meet. And I would say, like, I'm kind of big on, like, I don't need a ton of super close friends. Like, I just need, like, one group that's, like, I'm really reliable, like, I can do a lot of things with. Obviously, while still having other closer friends. So, for me, I would say maybe I'm picky. I think it's more I got comfortable very quickly with my core group of friends.
Yeah.
And after that, I feel like the first few weeks you're trying so hard to meet so many different people. But once you get comfortable with the group that you have, you kind of stop trying as much.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you're against meeting new people, but you're not exactly as actively trying to find new people to hang out with.
Yeah.
And obviously I did find, like, my roommate next year is not one of the kids that I originally hung out with. Like, obviously, as the year progresses, like, your closer friends meet other closer friends, and all of a sudden you start hanging out together, and then you have a whole bunch of new closer friends. So I would say I get comfortable pretty quickly with, like, a group. Same thing I think a lot of times we see with, like, our Norwood friends. Like, I'm comfortable, like, with us. Like, I don't need 100 people to hang out. Like, I like just, like, it's sometimes you just need, like, a small group to kind of, because when it gets too big, things can get complicated sometimes, I find.
For sure. Like, what are the advantages and disadvantages of getting comfortable with a group like that? Because for me, like, I thought about that too. Like, going into the next school year, like, same thing. Like, I want to just keep, like, a consistent mindset of, like, trying to meet as many people as possible. Like, again, I totally understand it. That's just human to do, to get comfortable with, like, friends you already have. But is that something that you see as a good thing? Does that worry you in terms of, like, making new friends?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a realization I had second semester, especially when a lot of people started rushing doing, like, Greek life stuff, because that wasn't a thing fall semester. So after, I was like, man, like, a few of my other friends are doing different things, meeting new people, and I'm like, I should probably so it's definitely something that's on my mind. I think, obviously, back to, like, your advantage, disadvantage, I think the clear disadvantage is that you're not opening your horizons as much. There's always a new person out there that could end up being your best friend. You never really know. And I think that's always one thing to keep in mind. Like, you never know who's going to be the next, could be your best man, whatever. But I think the advantage is kind of that you get to focus more on building relationships with the people that you are starting to get close with, rather than kind of, I wouldn't say ignoring, but putting less emphasis on those relationships, and then finding more, like, just looking for more that aren't as strong as your core. So I'd say that's kind of the advantage, but the disadvantage is obviously that there's always more out there to find and people to meet that could end up being friends for life, obviously.
Totally. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Like, I think there are some points, it's like second semester too, where I was itching to make new friends, but at the same time, I wasn't making enough time for the people who, like, I was already, like, building friendships and getting close with. So definitely a huge thing for me going into, like, the upcoming school year is to make time for those people who are, like, I've already built close friendships with. It's just, like, I have to continue to want to spend time with them and hang out with them to get to know them better, for sure. Like, you're talking about also, like, going somewhere else make you realize, like, who actually matters at home. And, like, I totally agree. Like, coming back, because, you know, we have limited time, and it's not like we're all together in, like, school all the time anymore, or, like, all these shared activities. So, I mean, hopefully you can agree, like, I'm very blessed that, like, I still have a lot of friends to go to at home who I, like, you know, still want to, like, keep in my life and continue to hang out with. You know, our Norwood guys being
100%.
one of that group. So yeah, that's really good. You this is a bit of a topic change.
Yeah.
But you are dating our friend Gabby Garcia.
I am.
And it's almost a year now.
Yeah, on Monday, June 10th.
I was thinking about it because I wanted to ask you about it. I don't know, or I probably forgot the story of how like you asked her out. Oh wait, no wait. Oh, wait, now that you're laughing, I do kind of remember.
Yeah, I mean, I
do remember.
I wouldn't
now.
call it the most romantic ask out of all time. She would probably agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were at after prom.
Yeah.
It was
in the motel.
Yeah, it was at the Seaside at the Anchor Inn.
Yeah.
It was like the Friday. It was technically the Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly very romantic. It was kind of just like pop the question.
Yeah.
I remember the next morning I was at my track meet and I was like, man, I'm kind of surprised that I actually did that.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those things. Is like, and I've told her this, like, I was not in any way disappointed or like mad or not mad or like I wasn't displeased with my decision.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, wow, I can't believe that I actually did that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, I was not at all expecting to do that going into the weekend. And then it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
And obviously, I couldn't be happier. It's worked out great.
Yeah.
But it just all happened so quick and it was so unexpected. Plus, yeah, obviously it was in a unideal location, but great things happen at the Jersey Shore.
There you go. This is like your first serious relationship.
I mean, it's my only one, but yeah.
Yeah. How, like, I mean, general question, how has it been? And, like, what have you learned so far about, I guess, like, being in a relationship, also, like, learned about yourself?
Yeah. I would say the main thing is I'm learning more about myself and I'm getting honest critique. Like, obviously, like, it's different when you're hearing it from somebody like that, like a girlfriend or something. Like, you're always going to hear critique and stuff from your parents, your family. And obviously you take it in, but because it's like your parents saying, it's like, yeah, okay, like obviously like this is what they're supposed to say. But when you hear it from somebody that like you care about in a different sense, like a girlfriend or even a friend, but just in general, when you hear critique about yourself and different things that like maybe you don't even realize that you're doing, when it comes from somebody that's not your parents, I feel it hits a little bit harder because you're not accustomed to hearing it from anybody other than your parents. So when you do, I think that really hits, like, you realize it and you pick up on it more. Yeah. And you try to be more self-conscious about it. And I think that has been one thing for me that's really stood out. As well as just it's cool, like, especially in college, like, obviously long distance sucks, but I found that it was very valuable for my college experience, just kind of being able to, at the end of a long day, been studying, do whatever all day, to kind of just debrief, hop on FaceTime, talk to go through your day with somebody, just like talk about what you did, hear what somebody else did, and especially it kind of makes you feel a little bit like home. Like, it gives you a sense of home while you're away, and just it was always a good time. Like, just calling right before you go to bed, I feel like that was always a good closure to my day. Yeah, just be able to like talk to somebody that I care about, talk to them about my day. They talk about random things. I thought that was always good closure for me. I always felt better when I went to sleep after a FaceTime or just texting or whatever, just with like some communication to kind of end out the day. And I think she would agree. Yeah.
Dude, you were saying like in terms of like how you grew like personally.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said this to you before, but I mean, yes, it has. Like, also you've been in college for years, so obviously like we've all grown a lot. But shout out to Gabby, because I think specifically you being in a relationship with her has like brought you a lot of personal growth that I can see for myself too.
No, I appreciate that.
Like I as a friend see you have like just like grown as a person through that relationship, and that's really cool to see.
Yeah.
So just wanted to say
thank you, Gabby.
I remember it was like a grad party when you came up to, it was like me, Kira, Sahaj, and you were like it was because it was coming down to like about like let's say like a month away from moving for college, right? And
I think it was Clunes.
Yes, it was. And you guys had been dating probably for a month or so.
Couple months, whatever it was.
And like you were obviously having to make the decision of whether this relationship is something you wanted to like continue to pursue. I can't lie. The first time you said it, I was like very surprised because you were like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go for her, and we were just like, yeah, and then we were kind of asking why. You're like, I don't know, it just makes sense. Could you like elaborate on that decision?
Yeah, I can. So yeah, to be honest, I was very like on and off, like flipping behind. Like I had no idea, to be honest. Like I remember going to orientation, like I don't know, like maybe not. Like I was thinking back and forth, and it's a tough position to be in, I think, for anybody. Because obviously, committing to long distance and committing to anything in college is very serious, and you have to have some kind of, like, you can't be going into something like that, I feel, if you don't at least see any bit of long-term potential, because you're sacrificing a lot going into it, and if you're going into it, you got to be 100% committed. You can't be like, you can't half-ass it.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I saw, because we had 2 months together, so it was especially tough. Like a lot of people had to deal with the same decisions, but they had like 7 months. And I had 2, and I think I kind of just had to realize that I saw potential. Like I saw potential of something that could be bigger, and I thought that at the end of the day, I was I have 8 semesters of college, and at the very least, I want to give 1 semester a chance on this, and I made the right decision, and I couldn't be happier. But I think it's really just that I saw that there was something there, and I didn't want to leave that to be. I didn't want to leave that page unturned, I guess, whatever. I just kind of wanted to see where it would take me. I didn't want to leave anything up to debate, or I didn't want any regret. Like I didn't want to be like, oh, maybe I should have stuck with this. So that was kind of my decision. But yeah, I was really flip-flopping throughout the entire summer. Like I really don't know what to expect, and I don't know what to do, but at the end, I think I made the right decision.
Yeah. Was she on the same page at the same time?
Well, her page was, from what she has, her page was kind of whatever I go with.
Okay.
She was pretty much like, we're either doing this or we're not, like in her head. Yeah. But she was just like, I don't know what he's actually thinking. So then I guess when nothing ended up happening, and we decided, and I mean, it wasn't like we ever like formally decided like, oh yeah, we're continuing to date. It was kind of just like, yeah, we're still dating kind of thing. So no, hers is kind of more just like whatever he's doing, like I'm in with. Like it wasn't like we were never gonna do like a zip code, or like it was either like we were gonna be like dating or like we weren't. Yeah. Like we weren't gonna be like taunts. Like there wasn't gonna be a relationship there. Yeah. So yeah, she was kind of just like whatever he decides. So, yeah. And then that's kind of how that went.
Yeah. You said something interesting, because I mean, I probably don't have to ask you like what sucks about long distance, because like it's like everyone kind of can figure that out.
Right.
But you had said like for you it had worked out well. Like what were obviously long distance is very hard. Yeah. But like what were some of the benefits?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I said, just having like a reliable source to talk to on a consistent basis that's going through the same things as you are. And also just like something like, I think Gary said the same. Just having somebody consistently to talk to, like that you can talk about anything with. Like obviously, because you think about it, and your college friends, obviously, like you become close with them, but you have other friends that you've been friends with for 8 times as long. Like even though you become close with these people a little bit quicker, like you don't know these people nearly as long or have as deep of a connection. Yeah, obviously, eventually it grows, but like, so it's harder to talk about some of these things that maybe you're dealing with somebody like that or other friends. So I just found that I just really enjoyed having somebody to like talk to and share experiences with. And then I think it made like the visits, like if she came to see me or if I went to see her, like when we were back for like a Thanksgiving, I think it made that time just that more special and more important. I thought, I just think it's made the time that we spend together now that much more valuable and important. Yeah. Because we cherish it more because we know it's not always going to be there.
Yeah. It's great.
Plus, just I think overall I think we learned a lot about each other being away from each other. Like, I think just being away, but just being able to talk, like communicating, like going through struggles of different things, I think we learned a lot. within a short few months, I would say.
That's huge.
Yeah.
How do you manage the commitment of a relationship? Like how did this additional like new person in your life who now you have a lot of like time to commit to, love to pour out.
Yeah.
How does that fit into what was already established with friends and family?
Yeah, I mean, in college, it wasn't too bad because obviously you're not with each other, so you're not ever physically hanging out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just like, I think for me, it's just being available on my phone obviously while still being able to focus like on my school and whatever not, and still also I think enjoying my actual college life. I think a lot of times what goes wrong with long distance relationships and even just relationships in general is the two people don't let each other go out and experience their own lives. They get too worried. They don't have trust. Like they worry about like, oh, they're going out there. Like I think what was important for us is we just let each other live our lives and go and experience new things at college. And I think that was definitely big in the balance, was knowing that she would be okay with me going out doing all this stuff and me being okay with her doing whatever. And just having that trust, I think that was a big part of balancing it. But other than that, school's you just have to be available and have some time allotted to like call, FaceTime, whatever. At home, I'd like to say I'm doing a pretty good job with it. I could probably be better at times, but I think I think we both understand and prioritize letting each other also have our relationships with our friends, because I think we both understand that those relationships are just as important as ourselves.
Yeah, that's good.
I think like she realizes that like some of my friends, like you guys, are just as important to me as she is, and I understand the same thing. And I think that's big, where we don't, like, especially in the summer, it's a little bit different, but now it's like we don't have to see like, God forbid, like if we don't see each other every day, it's like it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like we'll see each other the next day. Like and just kind of letting each other enjoy ourselves, because as long as we're doing that and we're being happy doing other things not involving ourselves, I think it makes our time together more valuable, because we have different things now that we can talk about. It's like, oh, okay, what'd you do like the past couple of days, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I think it's good. I think I usually have a lot of free time, so I think now it's like Gabby fills into more of my free time that I typically had in the past, where now it's just like, even if it's just like dead time that I'm not really doing anything, we could not be doing anything together, which is also nice.
Yeah,
just,
that is nice.
Two people not doing anything together as opposed to one. So yeah, I'd like to say I do it well. And then when it comes to like the actual family, I think both of our parents have been really great with kind of welcoming us into their family. Like she's over for dinner. Comes out to dinner with our family now. Same thing, like I'll be over there, probably too much, they probably want me out sometimes, but having dinner there, meeting family, being at family parties, like this past day when we were celebrating Gabby's mom's birthday.
Happy birthday, Lourdes.
Yes, happy birthday, Lourdes. I got to hang out with some family, and I think that's also important. Obviously Gabby hasn't been able to really meet as much as my family because my family's not here, but I think that's really cool, being able to meet her family and get to talk and hang out with them. Obviously, we're friends with with Bella, and just getting able to meet and find out more about what has made her who she is. Because obviously, family is a big part of her life, my life, and I think it's important to see those things, hang out, and kind of be in that family dynamic as well.
Yeah, that's huge. All right, I want to talk about Norwood Pride now.
Let's go.
So, Eddie, you lived in Norwood your whole life?
Whole life. My parents bought the house in February of 2003, I think, and I was born in October 2004. So, yeah.
Nice. And then I moved here when I was in 6th grade. And since then, I love Norwood. But you have quite the Norwood pride.
Yes.
You live on Kensington Ave.
That's right.
And our Norwood group has stuck close throughout the years.
It has.
Why do you love Norwood?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I think for one, just like the sense of community. Like, I've noticed now. Maybe this is going a little bit sidetracking to start off, but when I was looking at college, I wanted to be nowhere near Jersey. I wanted to get away. I I wouldn't say I was sick of Jersey, but I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. But as soon as I left and as soon as I experienced a few months away, I realized that I don't want to be anywhere but here. Like, this is home. I want to live here. I want to raise my kids here. I want to stay here for however long. So I think really the sense of community that we have here, especially just memories from my block specifically when I grew up. Like, I grew up with a couple, like, Aiden Heaney, Ryan Luby. We grew up together on Kensington, Somerset, whatever. So there was always friendship and community going on within our block. We were all born within like a few weeks of each other. But like, I just remember there was always core memories. Like, when we grew up, we used to have block parties on our street. I could vividly remember in the summer, like, we'd have the entire street would all hang out in the block. We'd do like egg toss, all the balloon toss, all these different things. That really just made it feel like a town community. Like, it just made it feel like more than just a place that you lived at. And I think it's cool how now it kind of died out for a little bit when we got like older into like whatever grades. But now I think it's cool. There's a whole new wave of like young parents coming into the neighborhood.
Oh, really?
And we've just like, there's a whole bunch of new little kids on the block, and we've just started back up the block parties.
Nice.
Which I think has been really cool. Because obviously you have all the new younger kids and families, but then you also have all the older people that have been living there for forever, and it's cool how we all kind of have just came back together as just one block. Yeah. But more about Norwood in general, I think I just love Norwood because of the memories, man.
Yeah. Favorite memories? What are they?
Yeah, there's a lot. And they pretty much all came from the Norwood Public School.
Yeah.
And a lot of them probably involve Kranzler. But yeah, there's, where can I even start? I mean, more basic, like the carnival was always a lot of fun in the past. That was always a good time throughout the years. Obviously it changed and it became different as we went on, and it came with different experiences, but the carnival was always one. I'm trying to think of the top school memories.
I mean, like, general DC trip.
DC trip was fun. I think one of the other ones, like, when I used to do my raps, like my algebra equations rap for Miss West, that was cool.
Lunch table,
the Freestyle Friday was definitely up there. I'm trying to think of this, like, just
stealing everyone's food.
Yeah, I mean, like, the food. You weren't even here for the food fight. Yeah, like when Kranzler doing stupid stuff. That was always fun. Like, recess football was also top.
Yeah, until it was banned.
It got banned every year because we did football. We did football kids versus non-football kids, and we held our own.
And then there was beef, and then
there was always
it was because they banned it. They banned it not because it was dangerous, because of like the trash talk, and then like and then we made a rebuttal being like, this is only on recess grounds. When we're not playing recess football, like, we're cool. It's just like, here and now we're gonna talk smack.
Yeah, I mean, I think just like everyday like interactions with like I remember especially when me and Alex and Will Lee would hang in the back class with Miss Licata. That was always like just like overall like class interact. Like, there's countless stories. I could go on for hours about different stories of funny stuff that's gone on in school. But I think and I wish there was a way that like there was just a video where we could rewatch all of those memories. Yeah. But Stokes is also up there 100%. Yeah. Stokes has got to be one of the top. Even just like when we were in the bunk with Scott and Scott and GC and all the counselors staying with us in the bunk. Stokes was up there for sure. There was like I remember going to the old Raiders football games. Like, that was always fun, just hanging around there. That was fun. There were so many weird things that middle schoolers just hung out at for no reason. Yeah. And you look back and you're like, this doesn't really make any sense. Yeah. But like, it's like even like when we just like mess around at the Closer Plaza. Yeah. Because I see those kids now and I'm like, what are they doing? No, but that was us. Yeah, but I think a lot of times just like going to Kennedy and playing basketball for hours, stuff like that. Hanging out, like especially like hanging out at my pool, going to Kranzler's, like hanging out at his pool, being in like the batting cage, just all that stuff. There's not like one specific memory that stands out, but I'd say in general, there's just been so much that's happened here that I'm never gonna forget. that it's just been a lot of the people here. I think is the main thing. Just the people that I've met, became close with, and not even just like friends, like different parents around the neighborhood that I've became close with. Like obviously Mona and the famous Mona Mobile. That's always going to be a memorable one. Like there's just so many different people around town, like not exactly friends that you see, like different coaches you've had in the past. That I said was another one. Was always like town soccer.
Soccer, yeah.
That was always a big one. It's just there's so many different people here that like I feel like so many people and you get to talk to so many different people from all over the place, and it's just an awesome town. I wouldn't have wanted to grow up anywhere else. Other than like maybe an Alpine, but that's
No, but it's not as much a. I mean, I guess that's still a small town vibe.
I'm just saying because
I know, but it's different. A lot of I mean, like the proof is in that a lot of people who grow up here like come back and like raise a family here. Like, do you want to come back, raise your family here?
I mean, I don't know about Norwood specific. Obviously, there's a whole lot more decisions that go into that than just wanting to live in Norwood.
But like, if ideal circumstances, if you could just like plop yourself anywhere in the world, would you come back to Norwood?
I don't know exactly Norwood. I would like to go
Northern Valley, Bergen County, New Jersey.
I don't necessarily want to limit myself to Bergen County because I kind of like the vibes of more South Jersey a little bit better just because of the bigger properties.
Oh, okay.
Like I go down there and everybody's
but nothing happens in South Jersey.
No, it does. Like you still got a cool neighborhood, but not super south because I still want to be close enough to the city because I'm probably gonna have to work there.
Sure.
And all that stuff, but I don't know about this. I still say Bergen County, but maybe not this area specifically, just because the properties can be a bit small, obviously, because it's so condensed. And I kind of envision my future with like having a big backyard where like my kids can go run around, play for hours, like just like a lot of space, like to have do a bunch of different home projects, build the different stuff, like just make a really cool backyard because. Like spending a lot of time in the backyard with the family and friends is a big that's a big goal. I mean, not that it's a big goal in the future, but that's like one of the things I'm looking forward to the most, just having that time.
Do your parents want to stay in Norwood?
No, probably not. It's not even really about the town. It's more of just about the taxes. I mean, when you don't have kids in the school, obviously the taxes for this place is a lot because of the school system, which obviously is great for a family growing up. But when me and Ryan are in school, it doesn't make as much sense anymore. Probably still in the area. My dad pretty much has it down that if me and Ryan live in different places, he's split in 6 months out of the year wherever we live. If we're in the same spot, he'll live there year round. So I wouldn't say they don't really have any specific destinations in mind. They just want to be near us, near our families in the future. Probably, I'm sure my parents probably would like to invest in something more down south, just to have, just like to kind of enjoy retirement more. But I wouldn't say specifically in Norwood. But neither of them really have that deep of connections. I mean, my mom has made deeper connections in Norwood, but I wouldn't say they have super tight Norwood ties directly, or even Northern Valley for that matter. So not exactly there, but
if it wasn't New Jersey or South Jersey, like where would you want to live?
Ooh,
Would you want to go anywhere outside the U.S.?
Not permanently. I could see like a year maybe like. Something like that, but not permanently. When it comes to actually living, I'd say probably I could see a few different I could see the Carolinas for sure. I wouldn't be opposed to living in the Carolinas. I feel like you got a good mix of where it's not like super hot and warm all year round. You still kind of get some seasons, but it's still a lot nicer. Probably a lot cheaper. And really not like somewhere down near the beach over in maybe South Carolina, that area. Other than that, not really. I haven't really thought too much about that, though, to be honest. Definitely not Ohio. Ohio, once school's over, never going back there, other for football games. But Yeah, I'd say maybe the Carolinas.
I see. I want to stay in the Northeast, like anywhere around just like Jersey or New York City. Like like Massachusetts, I would definitely live there. But
Yeah.
the cost of living there is like as high as here. It's like
Yeah.
it's dumb expensive. Same with Connecticut. I mean
Right.
anywhere around this
Yeah.
area.
No, yeah.
But yeah, like I would live in Connecticut or Mass or somewhere like
Yeah.
New England or just Northeast for
Yeah,
sure.
I feel like I've gotten too accustomed to loving the foods that we have here.
Yeah.
That I can't. I even noticed it in college. Like, it kills me in college when I can't just go to a bagel shop and get.
Dude,
a
is the food good in Columbus?
Okay, well, Columbus is like a city, so the actual food, like if you're just there on like a vacation, like
Yeah.
you actually have money and you're not just like a broke college kid.
Yeah.
And you're actually in Columbus.
Not
yeah.
like I guess not like the
Yeah,
super
like-
nice restaurant.
No, yeah, because
Just
then,
like,
then obviously the restaurants are great. I mean, there's not really any. There's no. I always say this, and me and like Chell and like my roommate from Long Island, we always have these debates with my Ohio friends. I feel that there's no real identity there. Like I feel like it
like
doesn't.
in general.
It doesn't feel like like it doesn't feel like they have a real culture. Like there's no real culture in food. There's no like because like Jersey, you have like obviously there's a big like Italian culture with like the food. There's a big
Here we have all the Asians and Koreans.
yes,
who live here.
yes. There's a big Jewish population here. There's a lot of different like main populations that kind of form the culture that we have.
Okay,
in
that
Jersey.
makes sense.
And I kind of feel sometimes that I don't feel that same like obviously at Ohio State you feel the culture of Ohio State because you're at a big school spirit based school, but I don't feel in Ohio that there's that same culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't feel like there's a real identity there. I mean, I guess it's kind of Midwestern, but it's not even really in the heart of the Midwest.
That
Like there's no food like there's no real food culture. Like it's kind of just like bits and pieces of where everything else has. Like obviously they have like all the main like I guess fast food and like they have the Chipotle's and
Yeah, well, that's
Chick-fil-A's,
what-
but that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say there's anything that really makes the food in Columbus or Ohio really stand out itself. Like there's nothing like you're going like, oh yeah, I'm going to Columbus or I'm going to Ohio for this. Like it's not really like that.
That makes a lot of sense because I hadn't thought of it that way. Like the reason why we have culture here is because of like those like distinct main populations.
Yeah, and you probably see it more in Boston because obviously you have like there's a big Irish culture in Boston.
Yeah.
In Boston, you probably see it more, but
Dude, but you'd be surprised. Like the food there is not. It's not that good.
I mean, Irish food's not really made.
Right. Just even. I mean,
yeah,
even
food in general,
even
yeah.
that aside.
Yeah.
Like coming home, it's like so nice to just like have good.
Oh
food.
yeah, 100%. Now when it comes to like our school food, we actually get pretty good food.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah, our dining plan is compared to other people I've talked to, we have a very good dining plan. I feel like I can always kind of change it up enough. I wish that the healthier options were maybe a little better. I find a lot of times like the grilled chicken sucks. It's really bland.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But other than that, I think I've lucked out pretty well with food.
Well, our food tastes good. The issue is it's not like a buffet meal plan. It's you have to pay for each item. So you start off with a balance, and then it's a declining balance. Like each.
We have a little bit of both. Like,
Yeah.
We have like swipes, and then like we have like whatever dollars we can use at other
Sure.
places. It's very flexible.
Okay.
But like you can get food from a whole bunch, and like it's flexible on how you use your
ours
how
is
you use your
not
funds.
flexible.
But yeah,
That's
so,
fine.
but yeah.
These like the next. Just kind of thinking ahead about future, like the next 3 years of college. What are you hoping for before you leave? Like other than obviously, getting a degree,
Right.
getting great education.
I would say my main goal is to walk away with lifelong friends. People that I'm gonna put an effort towards seeing once I leave college. I think is the main thing. Like, I think a lot of times that's really important. Like you see, and I always kind of find this interesting because when you get to like our parents' age, it's like it's not the same where it's like every other day you're like going to like hang out with friends and stuff a lot of times because you have other responsibilities. And I find it's interesting. The main thing I see with friendship, at least with my parents, is doing favors, doing different things like a lot of times I find my friends, it's like my dad like, oh, I gotta help like blah blah blah, go load in like this safe into his basement, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I found that that's kind of what friendship, at least for my parents, like or my dad, has become. It's like being available for your friends and being able to help them out with things. But more than that, I would say out of college, I want to walk away with a good group of lifelong friends that I'm always going to keep in touch with. I'm always going to have a good relationship with. And other than that, a national championship.
Football?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to walk away with that.
Is that going to happen?
I sure as hell hope so.
Yeah.
But I think it's in the possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. College football is so random. Like, unless, you never really know what's going to happen. I hope so. I think we're in a great spot. I hope that happens.
Are you a Buckeye for life now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'll go somewhere else for grad school and I will have a connection to that school, but I think I will always resonate more with my undergrad.
Do they have a grad school of MBA there?
They might. I would like to go somewhere different for sure.
Yeah.
But I think they probably do, but I wouldn't. That's not really something I'm considering. But I think I will always identify more with my undergrad and at Ohio State. I just feel it's so built for having the school spirit vibe.
Yeah.
And I even see it even today, like at the club just at work, like a bunch of people come like, oh, you go to Ohio State, I'm wearing the hat. They like talk about it like it's such a big connection of people. Like everybody knows the name. Like it's just you feel a big sense of pride just being a Buckeye.
Yeah.
And just with a lot of these big schools, I find it's very important that you.
Oh, what is this?
It's a mid-interview delivery.
What is it?
It's smoothie.
Yeah, like what you put in it.
You'll find out.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to try it?
Sure.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Just banana, frozen berries.
Yeah, my mom makes this a lot. It's good.
That is good.
I'm a fan.
What's the ultimate career goal like with the MBA and progressing in finance?
I wish I could tell you, but okay, I don't really know because obviously, still, I could end up changing my major for all we know. A lot of people do. One thing I will say of a goal is by the end of my time of working, I want to be my own boss.
Okay.
That I will say, no matter what, like, I don't know what field it could be in. It could be in whatever, for all I know, by the end of my time. But one goal I would say, I want to be my own boss.
Do you want to... Does that include the possibility of being an entrepreneur?
Yes.
Okay.
I think specifically, like, being an entrepreneur, I think is a big thing for me. And eventually, that's always been something that my parents, especially my dad, has always kind of built into my head. Seeing him work his hours as a cop. Yeah. And then being able to eventually at the end take over and do things his way. I think he's always instilled in me that it's very important, and it's a real big and great goal to work for yourself and be the own boss and have things go on your term. And I think that's something that I definitely drive to eventually have be the case. Obviously, there's situations where you have to kind of go through the ladder and get your experience to be able to have those skills to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You have to work for people and go through different jobs. But at the end of the day, I think I want to be my own boss. I want to be an entrepreneur, own my own business. And that, I guess, would say my goal in a more broad sense. Yeah.
Could you see yourself doing anything else outside of business?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, more just because the world is always changing and there's always going to be new opportunities of things to take advantage of. But also just because I have many other passions. I mean, I've always obviously been... My dream as a kid was always like, oh, I want to be like a sports broadcaster and stuff. I've always had a big passion in sports. I'd say that was one thing. I've always had a very big interest in history. There's a bunch of different things that I'm interested in. And because of that, I think there's always going to be opportunities that can be taken advantage of if I see fit. And because of that, I'd say 100%. I could see myself in other fields.
Entertain me. Like, what would the specific jobs be? You said sports broadcaster.
Ooh.
History teacher. Would history teacher be combined with like athletic coach?
I don't know about that. I don't even know. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily pursue a career in history. I was kind of just making an example of like an interest I have. But I'd say the main sports, like broadcast, like having not only broadcast, like, I envy, like, those guys that have, like, their podcast, have, like, their, like, the Stephen A. Smiths of the world that have, like, they have their own shows, like, that just get to talk about sports for a little
What's stopping you from starting a sports podcast?
Not much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I guess I'd say time.
Yeah.
But even then, yeah. It's something that I've considered in the past. And I've definitely thought about doing. But,
because even if that doesn't, like, even if it's not big or, you know, you do it for fun and that, like, you know, looking way ahead, that could, like, open yourself to opportunities as, like, a valuable experience.
And I think that's just to add on, this past semester I had a marketing professor, Professor Piletz, and he was very impactful on me. He was, as much like him as a teacher about the actual subject, I think he always emphasized focusing on life and careers, and he said something and talked about something that I thought hit me very hard, which was that your passion can never become your main thing if it never starts as a side gig. And he was basically saying, like, no matter what you do, it's never going to become your main job if it's never something that you do on the side first.
Yeah.
And that, I think, really resonated with me, is like, I could do all these things in business or whatever, but if I never keep that side thing going with sports, it's never going to be something that I can become my main thing.
Yeah.
And I see it also with my dad. My dad's always loved his personal training and fitness. And he always, even through his career as a cop, he always kept that as a part-time job. Now, obviously for many different factors, but he always kept that as a part-time thing that he did because he loved it, I think, at the core. And now he does it as his only thing. Yeah. And I think that's very important, that it can't be your main thing unless you keep it as something that you always do on the side. Yeah. And it's definitely something I've been thinking about. Maybe sports podcast soon.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think. If anybody wants to hop in, I definitely don't need to do it alone. But yeah, so it's definitely something that I've considered in the past. It's always just been one of those things like I know I kind of want to do it, but it's like, it's a lot, and then I get lazy and I forget, and I'm like, and all of a sudden a bunch of things happen. All of a sudden, you know, it's 6 months later and nothing's happened. Yeah. But it's always something I've thought about, and I would like to eventually do it, hopefully. Or even, like, doesn't even have to be, I've also considered, like, doing stuff on TikTok, like making TikTok stuff, like video, like short videos. It doesn't even have to be a podcast, but yeah, I definitely want to keep something in sports. It's something I do, whether it's trading sports card, like trading card, like baseball cards, something like that. But I always want something. And even I've also thought of, like, sports is one of the biggest businesses in the world. Is there like a sports business major in school? I don't believe so. There maybe I think there's like a minor, but I don't think there's, at least not in the business program, there's not. But that's the other thing. Like, sports is such a big business, especially we see now with NIL and all this stuff going on. There's always room for business is the main driver in sport, and that's also something that I consider, like, as much I want to do business, and there's plenty of business jobs available for sports, which obviously I love. Different teams that I've been rooting for forever, different leagues. So that's also something that I always think about. Like, there's always potential to do two things at once. So. I'm always keeping my. I'm not, like, set on anything right now. I think we're so young. We don't know what we want to do at the end of the day. So I think it's always, you just gotta keep myself open to anything, really. Yeah. I mean, I definitely, like, time is the biggest constraint, but other than that, like, more mentally, like, the biggest constraint is just like fear. Like, fear of whether it be, like, fear of failure or fear of being judged. Mm-hmm. So, like, I always encourage, start now. Just start, and just, like, as I think it's about consistency as well. Like, if you really are passionate about it or really love it, like, you'll be able to hopefully find consistency where it's not like there's just outpouring at, like, first and then slowly, like, you forget about it. Right. If it's like you commit to, like, once a week and you're doing it. But yeah, other than that, it all comes down to, like, just doubt and, like, you being like, oh, is this gonna work? Is this gonna be good or not? But I've truly found, like, whether it's starting this or with photography or anything else I'm interested in, like, A, you just gotta do what's gonna fulfill you. Right. And then B, it's, like, the people who
do truly care about you, like, will support you, and you will get positive feedback.
Right.
Sure, I mean, maybe sometime down the line you'll get like a negative comment or people like making fun, but like that doesn't matter at the end of the day. If, like what you're doing is fulfilling you. So like even for me, I'm like interested in just like marketing, social media, that kind of stuff. So like I'll there's a place on Livingston. It's called Taco Time. It's like a new it's like a new place. But Tim, he's like a loyal customer there. Yeah. And then I was wanting to help them out because I really believe in like the restaurant and the food's awesome. And I was like, yo, like let me Tim and I wanted to run social media for them. Yeah. So like sometime soon we'll just like start making TikToks. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like it's just stuff like that. Like just get started. And I mean, I thankfully have time until I start work in July. Yeah. But like till then, I'm just like side quests. Yeah. You know. But those things are stuff that are like fulfilling me and like, I'm having fun. You know.
100%.
Yeah. Any last remarks on anything we talked about?
I don't know. I mean, I've had a lot of fun. I mean, obviously, we have these talks all the time. This is kind of the first time on camera, but I think it's always good to kind of delve deeper into topics. A lot of times, people kind of leave things on the tip of the iceberg and don't really dig deep. I think that, I don't know. I mean, I think that I think we've all learned a lot from the first year of college. And I think we've all came back a little bit different. I think the main thing for me on this episode was your notice of my growth. I'll be curious to learn more about that. I mean, not that I don't notice it, but you don't notice as much when you're just living your everyday life. But, yeah, I guess I'd just say really grateful to be here. I've had a lot of fun, and it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
At the end of every episode, I pray for my guest. Would I be able to put my hand on your shoulder and pray for you?
Of course.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Dear God, I thank you for Eddie as a friend, that since coming to Norwood, you've blessed me with just friendship in many ways, but Eddie has continued to be such a great friend in our Norwood group and beyond. God, I pray for all the things that we talked about today and our hopes and our dreams for the future. And God, you've given us so much growth in this past year through college, and coming back home has been so nice as well to realize how precious home and family and friends are. As we continue to go through college in these next few years of our life, as Eddie said, that truly the friendships and the relationships that we make, the people we meet, the people we bring into our lives are the most important. God, I just pray that we may prioritize people and just show them love as you continually love us. And as we, continue to pursue our passions and continue to educate ourselves to go into the workforce, I pray that we may have peace in our hearts. God, that I have found immeasurable peace through a faith in you. And God, I pray that one day Eddie would find you as well and realize how comforting it is to believe in you and know that that our worth and our value can come from the truth, and that is you and you alone. That gives us that worth, that gives us that value. And just God, I pray for the rest of our summer that we may just have a great time, have fun. As much as we are working, may we be able to spend just quality time. I have no idea when that cut, but that has been it. That is episode 4 wrapped up. Thank you to Edmundo for joining me and having this conversation. I don't know who's next or when, but that'll be soon, episode 5. So that's about it for now. I'll see you guys then. Great stuff.
Hell yeah.